Hey, what's up? This is Greg. I wanted to do a quick update here because there's some really important news that just came out on inflation. I'm going to be traveling later in the week, so this is going to serve as my weekly update that I've been trying to do every week. Won't be around on Friday, so it's Wednesday, and some big news came out on inflation. So basically, the Commerce Department announced today that inflation on an annual basis was 9.1%. This is the largest increase since 1981. And for those who thought that inflation had peaked or inflation wasn't going higher, this is a big surprise. The market expected 8.8%, but it came out quite a bit higher at 9.1. Now that's a 1.3 month-to-month increase in the inflation in June, which is quite alarming, and this is historic. Unfortunately, it's historic news in the negative for the economy, and it's ricocheting throughout the world. It's not unique to the United States, and I'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. But this is shocking in the way it came in. It argues for the Fed to definitely be doing 75 basis points in the coming interest rate increase later this month. And a lot of people are already starting to talk about 100 basis points, okay? This shocking number illustrates a number of important things that I wanted to talk about right now. Okay, one is the degree to which the Fed is completely behind the curve and completely derelict in its duties. And I've talked about this many, many times. I think the Fed, in its current configuration with Powell, has been incompetent throughout the entire process, and this is further evidence of it. Okay, and even now, I think that they're moving too slowly. It's like a glacial pace, and I understand they don't want to freak out the markets, but you know, if prints continue to come out like this, the market's going to get freaked out anyway. So they might as well bite the bullet and move quicker. Okay, the other thing is, in addition to raising interest rates, I don't understand why they are taking this glacial approach to reducing the balance sheet. To me, it seems to be totally ridiculous. They finally stopped printing the money, 120 billion a month. This month in July, they stopped finally doing that. They should have stopped it, a year ago, but they finally stopped it. And now they're just letting the securities run off on the balance sheet. They're not actually selling anything. I don't understand what they're waiting for. Do they want the entire world to implode before they actually do anything? It's really incredible, and but that's the box we're in. I was looking at some of these other numbers, and it's just really shocking, and I wanted to just talk about a couple of them. Okay, so the all items, as I said, was 9.1. Food at home has increased 10.4%. Okay, food away from home is, I guess that's eating out, is 12.2%. Energy, overall, up 41.6%. Okay. Gasoline, 60% up. Fuel oil, 98.5% for fuel oil. So if you heat your house with fuel oil, as I do in one of my houses, it's basically doubled, okay? And I noticed that in my bills. It's freaking amazing. Gasoline up 60%, okay? We all know that. It's come down a little bit, but, these prices go up and down. It's only because oil has backed off. Electricity, 13.7%. Utility gas, 38.4%. So that's the other component of heating your house, gas, 38.4%. new vehicles, 11.4%. And this really factors into what I've been talking about on the channel, which is that you have a headline number of 9.1%, but the real rate is far higher than that if you eat or heat your house or drive a car, okay? So these numbers are basically a bunch of BS, this 9.1%. It doesn't capture the suffering that the American people are actually being subjected to because of basically mismanagement by the government, okay? The supply side, yes, the pandemic did affect supply, and I don't know what percentage of this problem is supply. Part of it is supply. We've talked extensively about the energy situation, but the incredible printing of money by the Fed and flooding the market, increasing M2 by over $5 trillion in a 2-year period, and as well as the government on the fiscal side just shoveling money, borrowed money basically, into the economy, 1.9 trillion when Biden took over. This whole thing has just exploded, and I believe it's going to continue to go higher. Now, let's just talk about market sentiment for a minute, okay? The market sentiment has basically been, in the last couple of weeks, okay, the economy is going to take a hit. The raising of interest rates is going to hurt the economy. The economy is going to go into a recession, and then the Fed's going to back off, and the market's going to go up again. Okay, the Fed's going to back off, and some people are even suggesting that they're going to start printing money again and lowering interest rates if the economy tanks, okay? I think that this is a bullish case that is extremely unrealistic, because this inflation situation has taken hold in such a way that it is going to be virtually impossible to dislodge it from the economy unless the Fed takes dramatic steps, okay? A la Volcker, okay? And I don't think Powell's ever going to do that. I've expressed many times on this channel that I think he's very political, and I think that I somewhat agree with the market sentiment that he will back off if the economy tanks and if the markets really tank, which I expect them to do in the fall. I believe there's a good chance he will back off, but that is not going to do it in terms of correcting this incredible situation that we have here, okay? Now you couple that with unprecedented incompetence in the federal government in general. And I read an article in the Wall Street Journal today. I know nobody under 60 reads the Wall Street Journal anymore, which is a shame. But the Wall Street Journal had an interesting editorial that talked about basically that no one in the Biden administration has any experience in any of the areas that they're in charge of. Okay, and I've talked about this a little bit on this channel. Granholm in energy, she was a lawyer, okay, and she was also governor of Michigan, all right? Buttigieg, he was the mayor of a small Midwestern town. No experience in supply chain issues or transportation or any of the enormous issues that he should be dealing with now. And I could go on and on and on, but I won't belabor it. But the point is, and the point of this editorial was that nobody in the administration, except for maybe 2 or 3 people, have any business experience whatsoever, and they have no base of knowledge from which to make decisions to deal with these problems. And this is what happens when you hire a bunch of political hacks to do these important jobs that require some knowledge of business, how the economy works. And of course, Biden's the biggest political hack of all. He is a career politician and has never run anything, has never made any created any jobs or run a business. He doesn't have a clue as to what's going on. And if you do have a president like that, you should at least have people around him that have business experience that can advise him appropriately. But we don't have that now. So the scary thing about this for me is that we're running blind here. It's rudderless. It's a rudderless ship. We have these intense problems, and the people in charge are clueless. Very dangerous. Okay, now the last thing I want to talk about, because we've made a big investment on this channel in energy and commodities. We've talked a lot about it on this channel. And I just want to say one thing about this. I try to tell people that don't just focus on the domestic situation, okay? Because what's going on domestically is one thing, okay? The idea of the economy softening and what the Fed's going to do and all that, it's all important. But if you're investing in energy, if you're asking yourself, gee, should I sell Exxon now? Should I stay in Exxon or Chevron or Occidental Petroleum or any of the firms that we've been talking about? If you just focus on the domestic situation and make your decisions based on that, you're really missing the boat, okay? Because really what's happening in energy, and I include both oil and gas in that, what's really happening worldwide is happening in Europe. And it's really important to understand what is going on in Europe before you make any decisions with respect to buying or selling the energy complex, and in particular Exxon, Chevron, Occidental Petroleum, and others. I have put out some content on the European situation. I'm hoping that later this week I will be able to put out another video where I will go in more detail into the European situation, because I think it's very, very important to understand that. And as I'm sure many of you are aware, Germany, France, others, Netherlands, many of the European countries went headlong into green energy, as well as simultaneously getting more dependent on Russian oil and gas at exactly the wrong time. The war came in with Ukraine, and now they are completely up Schitt's Creek, okay? And so stay tuned to this channel. I'm going to be coming out with some more content where I delve more deeply into the European situation, okay? So I wanted to get this update out quickly. There's a lot of things to think about here, and I'm going to be focusing on the inflation situation, its impact on the markets, and also the oil and gas and generally the energy situation, to try to provide you with as much information as you possibly can to make smart investment decisions. Okay? Well, that's the update for today. I hope you got value out of this. If you did get value out of it, please like and subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notified of future videos that I come out with on this channel, which are intended to make you a better and hopefully richer investor. Okay, thank you, and I'll see you on the next video.